Howdy, this is Matt Wendling with Drill Team Dynamics, and we are here in sunny Laredo, Texas. We're doing some training with an awesome school out in this area, and while we were out here, thought it would be an awesome opportunity to talk about a concept that's both kind of mental and physical, and it applies to pretty much every movement we do in drill when it comes to exhibition drill. So we're on the exhibition side of the house for what it is that we're doing here, and what we're going to talk about today is approach. And what I mean by approach is how we think about doing a movement before we execute it, thereby kind of determining what muscles and what response we're going to have physically when we do that move. And this really applies to any move and any sequence, and it's really the foundational aspect of style. How do I bring out a specific style? Well, it starts with approach. How do I think about it? And therefore, how do I do it? So we're going to use a single spin as an example. A single spin, pretty foundational move for exhibition drill, but if we really stop and look at this movement, there are many different ways that we can express the same technique of doing a single spin, but we can do it to achieve a different style. So for example, if I want an approach that's very aggressive and very intensity driven, I'm going to choose a style of single spin that really brings that out and really accentuates this. Kind of like what I just demonstrated. The fact that I want something that has a lot of aggression in it and a lot of power in it dictates how I'm going to do the move. From the start to the finish, it chooses for me that I'm going to clap down and get a strike on the initial prep count. This is different than choosing to point, or even choosing to come from a 45-degree angle of port, which looks a little bit less intimidating than having our arm and our shoulder up across the front. Then, how we fire the spin off is a byproduct of our approach. So if I need something very aggressive, I'm going to hold back to the last second and really push that spin very quickly to arrive still on count 3, but with a little bit more oomph behind it. Then I'm going to choose a technique for reforming that maximizes that intensity, and I'm going to have a single spin that has a very characteristically violent look. Now, if I wanted to take an approach that was more precision-driven, I would make a different set of choices. And in this case, what I would do is I would think, what are the elements of the single spin that allow me to display that precision, that razor-sharp edge, may be different than powering through the movement from top to bottom. So I could choose, for example, to come in at a 45-degree angle to begin with, which is, again, an easily understood regulation position. And when I do this, I'm looking at generating just enough power to have the rifle do what I need to do, but only focus on the precision element of the movement. That stands in pretty stark contrast to ripping through the rifle as fast as I can when I choose to take that different approach. So how do we work this into what it is that we're doing, whether we're a drill team commander creating the exhibition for our team, or whether we're a soloist kind of trying to work with our skill sets? And the answer is we got to think about the approach behind every move and what we want to project and what we want to put out there for the audience, usually the judges, in terms of the argument that we're trying to make at a particular moment in our routine. And when we really stop and think about what do I want this to look and feel like, it allows us to make the right technique choices to make the adjustment. For example, if I want something that's very quick and flowing through my hands very efficiently, I might choose to use a technique that has a very, very quick point down and a rapid fire. There's not very much intensity or violence behind that movement, but it certainly has a different feel than if we took and went from a higher position on the rifle or a different starting angle. And I'm using different muscles in each one of these different techniques that helps me achieve the look that I'm going for. So when we're thinking about creating routines, or when we're thinking about expressing ourselves in our solos, we really need to stop and think, what is the outcome, what is the feeling that I want to project, and therefore, what do I need to do from head to foot to make sure that I'm showing that through my drill. And that's where you get great stylistic differences. You get John Jay with a very, very sharp, very intensely driven single spin. You get Marmion with a little bit more relaxed, kind of more of a flowing approach to that spin. And then you get the folks from Hawaii coming off the shoulder, same single spin, with a totally different approach to it, with a totally different feel to how it's being performed. So as we go through and as we're working through, we can be thinking about approach for literally every movement we do, and hopefully this will take your drill and elevate it to the next level by giving you choice in how you are picking moves for your routines.